Fourth Way by P.D. Ouspensky, Chapter 14. Question. One negative emotion which is always happening to me sets me against people whom I think I have neglected or harmed in some way. It is based on identification. I cannot see how I can escape from it. Answer. It is difficult to say. We are so mechanical that in some cases we are not responsible. At the same time, one has no right to say, I am not responsible, so it does not matter what I do. One must do what one can, but non-identifying will not help in this case. If you feel that you have done something wrong, try not to do it again. Very often people give all their energy to thinking about the wrong things that they did, and the next day they do exactly the same. Question. Did you say that negative emotions would be useful if we could not be identified with them? Answer. If we could not be identified, we would have different results. That would help very definitely, since we would give orientation to life and many other things that we do not know yet. Yes, I said, if we could not identify, they would be very useful functions. As they are not useful. All negative emotions that we cannot avoid become useful functions if we can use them for self-remembering. Some people manage to do this and to get two things at once: elimination of the negative emotion and creation of self-remembering. If you have a persistent negative motion, and by right thinking connect it with self-remembering, then after some time it will help self-remembering. And after some more time, if you persist, the emotion will disappear. So they can serve a useful purpose if you can use them. But if you identify with them, they are no good at all. Question. Is there anything one can do about negative emotions when one is in a bad state? Answer. One must not believe in this bad state. Equally, one must not believe in a good state, that it will always remain. Both bad and good state will change. If one believes too much in a good state, a bad state comes, and one is not prepared, and as a result, one is too much affected. If one identifies too much with one's bad state, one feels one can do nothing. Bad state or good state, one has to go on. There is only one way. Answer. Does strong jealousy come under the second category? Answer. That is for you to decide. It may have very different forms and manifestations. Generally, it's based on justification. Mentally, you agree with it, approve it, and prepare the ground for it. Then, when you stop preparing the ground, it may disappear or be transformed into something different. But this is too general a description. There are 10,000 different kinds of jealousy, but the basis of them, almost inevitably, is that you feel you have the right to be jealous. You must always remember that all causes of negative emotion are in us. Question. Are negative emotions catching? Is that what makes family life so difficult? Answer. Yes, it is a definite fact that negative emotions are very infectious, but particularly infectious for yourself. If you have certain negative emotions and admit them, if you do not deny them in your mind, they are bound to be repeated and become stronger and stronger. Question. Self-pity. To me, it's not an unpleasant emotion, though I consider it to be a negative one. Should it be stopped? Answer. Particularly if it is pleasant. When self-pity is pleasant, it is a particularly poisonous emotion. Question. How can I think rightly about self-pity? Answer. In thinking about it, you must create in your mind a permanent solvent, an attitude which will break up your self-pity when it appears. Find the comical side of it, the absurd side. Find the insane side. Do not stand on ceremony with yourself. If you succeed in forming a permanent attitude, then as soon as self-pity appears, pour the solvent over it and it will dissolve. Find what is foolish, what is mad in self-pity, not by analysis, but by examples. You will find many features in it. If you think and observe sincerely, and if you keep them in mind, self-pity will not dare raise its head. Question. But if you find it, does it not disappear? But if you find it, does it not disappear? Answer. That means a wrong attitude. And not only attitude. Self-pity is not quite normal. So, study it. Find all its strange features. Try to be ashamed of it. Do not think or speak about it as if it were something harmless or pleasant. Question. I find myself in a very great self-indulgence, which I believe is my chief weakness and obstacle in the work. But in my own efforts, I do not know how to struggle with it in any way, but the most feeble one. Answer. Very often you cannot fight, or you do not know how to begin to work against some special weakness. But it doesn't matter. Work against any weakness, and you will work against this weakness. It is a very easy way of justifying yourself to say that you do not know how to fight against a weakness. Leave it alone and fight against some other weakness. The result will be the same. In special cases, we have to return to some difficulty again and again. But in general, all efforts lead in the same direction, whether it's struggle against negativeness, imagination, or anything else. Why does giving way to anger give me a definite feeling of exhilaration? Answer. First, because it is a habit. Second, because it is easy. Every giving way to a habit gives pleasure. The machine always likes to work by the line of least resistance. But in the work, we must go by the line of strongest resistance.